Charlotte Fisher's 1996 Landsong may not be conventionally offensive in its formal elements, but is vexingly out of place. The tall white and black beams sit starkly in front of the off-center staircase within the design atrium, an oppressive force in what should be a minimalist, airy factory of thought. Are we in a design school or the wet dream of a chintzy hipster burger joint in Soho? Pieces like this remind me of how integral the process of curation is to works of art. To adopt space as an extension of the artist and the creative endeavor. To be as intentional as the last words you would ever whisper to someone. Without proper curation, even the most flirtatious works of art fall flat. Landsong isn't just flawed, it feels abandoned in its own space. Hans Ulrich Obrist, the author of Ways of Curating, equates the role of a curator both to a catalyst of inspiration towards artists and the initiator of dialogue between a work and its audience. No doubt, it equally is the role of the artist and the institution to create context and resonance for the work. The case of Landsong is peculiar. It carries neither the conceptual weight to entice its passerbys, nor the defiance inherent to a modern work of art. It proclaims no statement, nor does it insist upon itself. It simply is, as if placed there in the dark of night. Its massive scale and organic form contrasting with the industrial context of the atrium is a powerful concept executed very poorly. Its haphazard skeleton of structural support, the off-center access in which it sits, and the stark contrast of its uniform color against the gradient surrounding it render it harrowing to look at. The work is shy and callous, like a young boy too nervous to dance at the prom. And unsure himself, so too becomes his date. So too does each and every passerby grow apprehensive in the presence of Landsong. To give credit to the work, initially I was curious as to what it meant, what secrets may find themselves waterlogged in these tall, slender beams of painted wood. Within a few minutes, I noticed one of the emblems at the top sat lower than the other. To my eye, it resembles a bird in its final moments of life. Quite a reach, I was told by the doubtful eyes of those whom I discussed the work with. Above and next to it sits a cupped flame that undoubtedly takes its inspiration from the Statue of Liberty, or can be more globally recognized as the eternal flame cast in each Olympic Games. The oxidizing copper bird, perhaps symbolic of drawing its final breath, looks faintly to its bronzed neighbor as if betrayed by its still crackling flame. Alas, what is done, and the blackened bark of the bird's trees bears the fatal wound of a fire. Is this mankind's doing? Have we irrevocably set fire and spirit and physicality to the natural world? Is it us, the flame, who watches unashamed as the world burns before us? Perhaps this is Fisher's cryptic message for those who push past the work's disinvitation. Or perhaps it is simply a generous ascription of the overly poetic mind of a hallucinating art student. When we, the viewer, are forced to do the intellectual labor an artwork evades, when it is our voice that speaks for the art and not the inverse, is it still meaningful? The same question was brought forth in debate of Casimir's infamous Black Square, which polarized the art world at the turn of the 20th century. In this painting lies only what its title insists, a single black square, illustrating either nothing or everything, mystical superiorism or divinity by negation, depending on who answered the question. The difference in gravity between the two works lies primarily in the defiance or lack thereof. Casimir puts everything on the line in Black Square, daring to challenge not only the traditions of artistic ideals, but the creative limit in those who perceive art. By contrast, Landsong speaks to no such convictions, aesthetically or conceptually. It does not push the boundaries in either domain enough to inspire, nor is it intentional in which direction it aspires to move towards. It is sans essence, without life force. It is empty, not defiantly silent. I was thus surprised to hear Fisher's artist statement, hidden in the ethos of her limited digital presence. She proclaims that the intent of the work is to symbolize human transformation in materials. Transformation in this case being represented by fire. Students of design do this both in school and out in the world. I carved naturalistic tree surfaces to honor our lost forests and to get the sculpture into the vast space of the atrium. poetic vagueness and institutional diplomacy in lieu of creative substance. This is the reason I dropped out of art school. Her words evade specificity and are anchored in no formal structure. If you're going to invent meaning, at least be coherent. At least dignify your audience by not pandering to them. Why honor our lost force in a design atrium? It seems more an afterthought, a last-ditch attempt at virtue-signaling redemption, rather than a conceptual anchor in the work itself. What is human transformation of materials, and what qualities render fire its decisive emblem? Neither the scale, form, or material of the installation is referenced, which to me speaks volumes on the creative autonomy she outsources to the viewer, further replacing creative substance with a thinly veiled intellectual mystique. More than aesthetic presence, installations should carry conviction. From Cubism's absurdist severing from the chains of naturalism to abstract expressionism's venture towards the divine, the greatest works of human endeavor have never advocated toward merely occupying space, but defying it. They insist upon their existence and are intentional, if not only in the process of their creation. Landsong affirms a new generation of students who will go on to design the world of the future, a complacence in weakness rather than inspiration and innovation. It gestures vaguely towards symbolism without the courage to commit it. Alas, should we forgive it for being well-intentioned? Should we accommodate a lower expectation of artisanship and artistic sensibility? Silence can be moving, but it must be earned. In the end, Landsong does not fail because it is quiet. It fails because it is indifferent.